Like a flower I had to grow in the cruelest weather, holding on to every drop of rain, just and show you all of the colors that live inside of me. I want you to see what I can become. A long journey is coming to an end. One that has seen hardship, growth, friends coming and going, allies made in the most unlikely of his, and enemies being revealed for who they truly are. In the frontiers of this world, new things are discovered all the time. And what our heroes have discovered, those who have been given the task of protecting their town in the odds that are completely against them, it is them show that they can bloom like a flower in the desert, surviving against all odds. Will they be able to do that tonight in our climactic battle of this campaign? We'll find out with part 2 of episode 7, Frontiers of Eberron. It's time to be diced. Everybody to episode 7, part 2 of our series finale of Frontiers of Eberron. I am your DM, Michael San Gregorio. Let us quickly go around the table, starting, we'll go counterclockwise around and then end at Victor, starting with Delilah with our introductions.
I have really bad internet, you guys.
That's okay.
Hello, I'm KJ. Tonight I will be stepping into the role of Delilah Armstrong for the first time in a very, very long time. She's a undead bounty hunter with secrets that may or may not be divulged today. We're gonna find out.
All right. Silas.
Boy, howdy, how are you? I'm Matt, also known as War-Torn Knight, out there on the interwebs. And for probably the last time, I shall introduce myself as Silas Hayden DeCaneth, artificer / sorcerer, former agent of House Caneth, former, I guess you could say, scion of House Vol for a moment, and now, hopefully, one of the last 6 people standing.
The former sister of the Church of the Silver Flame, Mirashana.
Hey guys, I'm Dia, also known as Diablo.cause. As Michael has said, I play Mirashana, formerly Sister Mirashana of the Silver Flame Church, now found herself once again on the path of light. She
And
is
our
Sister Paladin now. Yeah.
That's true. That's true. And
She's
our
fine.
druid, who still doesn't know if she even belongs here this entire time, Evan.
Hi, I'm Ren. I play Evan Redlow, the local farmer slash druid, who honestly did not know if she belongs here. Michael, you're right, but is coming to maybe accept that she can't run away all the time when things get hard.
And next up we have Ivara.
Hello, my name is Taylor, also known as Nerdy Pinup Girl.
I don't know why I introduced you like Oprah just then, but you know.
You get a spell! You get a spell! Anyway. Hello, my name is Taylor, also known as Nerdy Pinup Girl on most social media platforms. If you like cosplay, if you like D&D, if you like special effects, makeup, smashable monsters, you should totally give me a follow. But today I am playing the beautiful, the magical Ivara Loravir. She is the Witch of Wormwatch and also runs the brothel and is very well known for just being the kind of the strange lady in the brothel that just is kind of just known as the witch and will kick anyone's butts who hurt her girls. So this vampire bitch being one of them.
And certainly last but not least. Or rather, I should say last but certainly not least.
Hi.
That's your cue, baby.
It me. I'm Victor. You can find me on TikTok as Victor _ the Story Weaver, and probably can find me through other social medias through there. I'm a performer. I have a vivid imagination that won't shut up and let me adult. So sometimes that comes out as characters. You can go check them out there. I am playing today a surprising sort of guest starring role that then ended up following all the way to this moment in time, which was Ichabod Pierce, formerly known as the Flying Monk, who was part of a circus that got slaughtered, and he, not realizing it, ended up becoming a Dampier. And now he has found himself with this group of individuals facing the very person responsible for his current state. And so obviously he is so happy.
And with that, I would like everyone to roll initiative while I give a little bit of backstory here. So, where we left off, the seemingly final confrontation between the Worm Watchers and the willing vessel of Lady Ilmaro, the Lich Queen of Death, the legendary ancient lich that was said to have dwelled in a castle of bone and ice in the coldest regions of the Lazar principalities, but in reality had been buried underneath the very mines of this town. And in fact, one of the things that was discovered was that the estate proprietor, known as Eleanor Vitae, was revealed to be the willing and accepting vessel now transformed into this Lich Queen of Death. All of which her plans to have been resurrected by manipulating this town into doing her very nefarious deeds to be reborn, having been now succumbed to fighting a battle in a private domain of which the town had been captured in seemingly this timeless bubble, only of which our heroes now remain conscious and continuous in a regular flow of time. During that battle, many strikes were delivered, including a near instant kill as she cast Touch of Death onto Ichabod, only to have it successfully countered by Ivara. I threw a 9th level spell, and Ivara was able to snap it away, showing back a little right back at her face. Now, what happened as a result of that is where we are going to be now. Ivara, as you wag your finger in the face of the enemy and counterspell this life-ending attack, the chaos magic flows through you and strikes Lady Ilmaro's undead necrotic magic. A wave ripples, sending each of you to different points in town, places that you feel, it seems, the most comfortable in. And while we are in initiative right now, you will have a freedom of movement until you are able to discover the whereabouts of wherever Lady Ilmaro is. So, with that, I'm just going to go down the line as it will auto-adjust. Silas, what did you get?
Natural 20 for a 22.
Oh my. Mirashana.
Natural 20 for 23.
23! Who wrote themselves down as just sorcerer? That's okay. Evan.
9.
No. There we are. Yeah, okay. Ivara.
17 plus 2 for a 19.
19.
Because I'm not special enough to get a nat 20 on initiative, apparently.
Delilah.
Nat 20 for 23.
Oh boy! Okay. Alright. Who has higher dex, you or Mira? Let's find out.
I think I do, but we're talking in the side chat. We kind of want to do it where we operate on the same turns, so we have the option of doing combos.
You know what? I'll allow it. Why not? Ichabod.
Hell yeah.
That was a 22, my good sir, and I missed on the safe teleportation part, so I don't know if there's a spot around here where the circus may have been.
Okay.
If not, then I can just choose to mark it or something.
Fantastic. With that, we are going to begin with Sister Mira. Mira, you find yourself in the church, a sanctified place now, having been able to rid it of the evil that it had been filled with, the corruption that had been plaguing it from the mark of death, the lost dragon mark of the House of Vol. You do not know where the rest of the party has gone, but you feel comfortable enough to know that if you have all gone to places in town, that's probably what happened.
Do we... Oh, so we get that sense that something happened and we were magically transported to elsewhere, which would not be the first time that's happened. So there should be a sense of familiarity, I would say, with this phenomena. Mira is going to cast Detect Thoughts with the intention of seeing whose presence she picks up around her as she sort of goes around the town, the church. Maybe if something is hidden, she'd like to make sure she knows it's there before they know she's aware.
And what is the range of Detect Thoughts?
It's 30 feet in front of her.
30
feet around.
Okay. So you cast Detect Thoughts, and you do not sense anything out of the ordinary, nor do you sense anything that is even an ally at this point. So everyone has kind of moved pretty far from you.
She's going to start heading towards the door. Because as safe as this place is for her, it is not safe to be alone at this time, she thinks.
All right, so you can use your full movement if you'd like to get to where you'd like. And if there's any other actions you would like to take, that'll be it for you.
That will be me.
All right. We now go to Delilah, where you find yourself in the sheriff's office.
If I'm remembering this correctly from last session, was Delilah given a
Was Delilah given a what? Oh, she froze. It's so weird with their eyes. Yeah, it does kind of look like there is a zombie on our screen. No, you know what, Ibarra, we'll just assume that Bartholomew is with you.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay. Oh, good. You're back. Where did you? Were you asking what you were given? Sorry, you froze like.
They're not guns here. What are they called?
What, your wand pistols?
Whatever those are, because I think I was given like a rifle version and a pistol version.
You still have the weapons. You have all the weapons that you have been issued prior to. So everything
if we
that you have
initiated something like mage armor, would that still apply, or would that be gone as well?
All spells essentially have been reset for yourselves.
Okay.
Had they been applied prior to, so you're basically working with a clean slate right now.
Okay, sounds cool.
I wonder if I might do it this way. Yeah, ooh, that's nicer.
What are the things I can do? Oh, I know what I'm going to do very first, because I think about this when I was playing last time. Delilah's going to give a very sharp, shrill whistle to call Bits, her raven, and to see if her horse is nearby as she heads outside, which I don't know where the door is.
It's either going to be, it's most likely the one that's behind, that's in front of the desk. So.
Okay, cool.
Whoops. Yeah, you're going to be, basically right there. There you go. So you give a whistle, and give me an animal handling check.
$23.
Ooh. So only you would really be able to pull something like this off, where you are able to, being that you are of a certain magical property of undead, and you're in a domain that is both living and dead at the same time, like a Schrodinger's zone. You're able to whistle and pull from the other side of whatever this town is in and bring in the animals that have the closest connection to you, with your bird and your horse arriving is almost from the distance, and then through a cloud of dirt that is kicked up, and from a cloud that is in the sky, swooping in.
Delilah will mount her horse as Bit lands on her shoulder, and she's just going to try to convene with whatever people she might hear or see.
Okay. So calling your animals will be your action, and I guess bonus will be a perception check to kind of get an idea of the area where you are in, or what's going on.
I love these dice, and I never roll them, and I don't understand why. Alright. 26.
You basically have been now going into full bounty hunter mode, attuning your senses to pick up those slight rustles, those small movements, and you can tell in the distance that the closest person to you would be somewhere in the bar.
Cool. And I've already moved. How far have I moved? 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Get about that far.
Okay.
Mounts her horse. Is prepared. That's my turn, I guess.
All right. From there, we move to the workshop of one Silas. Once I find it. There it is. Silas, you find yourself in your workshop.
We'll just say for thematics that it, like, poofing in, where he felt safest, he quite literally lifts his head up off the desk like he was sleeping and kind of like stands up really quick and reaches for his wand, looking around, realizing he's in his workshop, and just like thinking as he's looking around, shit, and just runs right for the door. So I gotta go to the move, and we'll do this one. So 10 feet to get out the door. Seeing where I am, he has one destination in mind. Just from where I am, looking at the map as a whole, do I see Ichabod?
Yes. That would be the first person you see. Oddly enough, Ichabod will be next in the initiative.
So seeing Ichabod, that's good. Looking around more, I don't think that I can see anyone else, but Silas is just going to shout to Ichabod as loud as he can, just go, "Ichabod, meet up at the church!" And he's just going to action dash, so 20 feet would be what's left. 50 feet would be total, just beelining it right that way.
Okay.
I will say, since my bonus action is free, we're going to tap the pauldron on his left shoulder, which is his Eldritch Cannon, in the form of protection, and we'll grab those temporary HP.
All right. The sight of Ichabod now move to you in the next order.
I think Ichabod's reappearance is filled with very dreadful feeling that comes from that spell that was seeking to destroy him right before they got teleported. And when he reappears in the market, there is a moment where he looks around and it's just moving and darting away and just sort of gasping, just reactionary. And before he looks down and looks around, not sure if this is some sort of purgatory or beyond the one that they were already in. And in that looking around, he hears Silas's voice, and he hears the comment about the church, and it's just that trying to regroup himself, and gives him a nod. And so I'm assuming the one with the pews and the big red rug is that. So
The disco hall, you're right.
the disco ball, yes. I have a question, DM. The building that is between me and the church,
Yes.
how tall is that building?
Let's assume that's just a one-level building. It
Okay.
is pretty decrepit for the most part, but it is essentially a storage unit.
Okay.
What's your climbing speed?
I think my climbing speed is the same as my regular.
Okay, then you can use your movement to position yourself where you'd like.
I'm going to say that what I want to do is, Ichabod, I want to use Step of the Wind.
Okay.
Well, if it's one level, I may not even. No, I'll need it to get inside. But what I want to do is, I just want to make sure that I have enough space so that when I get to that building, I want to climb it and very crouched at top of it. I want to take a moment to look around from that, even though it's not a big vantage point. Actually, how big is the church? How tall is the church?
Church is like 2 of that, so that's 60 feet high.
Okay, with
It's
Step
like
of the
2 levels.
With Step of the Wind, I mean, I'm far from the church. I am, bear with me, I am about, it's 125, no, sorry. I am 60 feet away from the church. It is straight up so I'm 55 if I go to the edge, one of the corners over here, and that's actually my walking speed. So I think what Ichabod wants to do is he wants to run toward the church with Step of the Wind, but he wants to actually climb up.
Okay.
If there is an entry point on one of the higher levels, but he wants to take the opportunity to at least do that climb and get a view of the area, see if there's anything that he can spot before going inside.
So I was trying to measure how far. Yeah. Yeah, we can do that. Okay. Anything else you would like to do?
Other than potentially a perception check from above to see if there's anything that I can spot.
Sure, give me a perception check with advantage. As you are above. So
Wow.
as beloved. So as above, so beloved.
That's just a 15.
Okay. Give me a moment. You do not see anything. Other than Silas and Sister Mira. I keep saying Sister Mira. Mirashana.
Gotcha.
All right. At this point, Silas, if you could please make a Constitution saving throw.
Boy, howdy, sure. Why not? It's an 11.
Okay. Moment.
You have to say the save word.
So, you feel as you are running across, you feel this almost invisible laceration across your chest, which will give you 13 slashing damage. It has icicles almost forming from the scratch, which is going to give you 10 cold damage. and you suddenly feel yourself completely solidified in body as you are now paralyzed for a minute. Did I just silence everybody with that one, or?
What is happening?
I'll get thematic with
Hey,
that.
miss.
Silas was in a full sprint before this happened, so paralyzed. He DM might I argue 10 feet forward, but prone.
Yes.
Okay,
Trying to look for the paralyzed ring, if there is one.
I'll get it. Don't you
Okay.
worry. You do DM
God
thing.
damn it, Victor.
All right. So that was. I have the worst poker face. All right. So that was an action, and yeah, that's all good. That's gonna happen. So, Ivara, you are up next. We are going to move over to your home, as it were. We find you behind the bar.
So Ivara, as like they are blipped to the bar, she literally still has her finger up, and as she like kind of finds herself at the bar, suddenly she kind of like shakes her head and she goes, "Goddamn fucking chaos magic!" And she's gonna turn, "Bart, you here, Bart?" And I'm guessing Bart is right
From
beside her.
behind this like pile of dishes and rags and empty bottles, just pops out the head of your familiar.
Hey, Bar. Okay, all right. She is going to kind of just take a minute, kind of feeling the lack of magic. She's going to place her hand on her chest and cast mage armor. And that will up her DC to 15.
Fantastic. You have become empowered.
And now, does she hear Silas yell out to like meet at the church?
He's pretty far. You know what? Just give me a perception check. We'll see if that in that moment, as this is all simultaneous.
All right, that's just a flat 18.
What you hear is the familiar voice of Silas yelling, "Get to the church!" And just
Okay.
But-
So I do see, upon like hearing like the sudden cutoff and knowing that Silas, like, he always makes sure like if he has something to say, he's gonna finish it, and that's definitely a bit off. So to avoid walking speed, Michael, is this a window I see here? Right by the stairs?
Yes. Basically, your door is right at the end of the carpet to the south, as that's the front door.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's your only exit so far.
Well, I was wondering if I could exit out the window by the stairs.
I mean, if you're willing to make a little bit of a jump.
I'll make an acrobatics check if I need to.
Yeah,
but
I'm sure you'll be all right.
uh,
Or you can just add 5 feet to that block, and it'll be climbing down. So
Okay,
that you don't have to like safely try and fall out of a window.
okay. So 1, 2, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Well, 30 feet's like right here, so.
And you can use haste for. I mean, you can use a dash for bonus. So.
Oh, I can? Okay, so bonus
Yeah.
action dash. And 5 to jump out the window. 15, 20, 25, 30. And she goes, and I'm guessing she sees Mira at that point and goes, "What the hell happened to Silas?"
I don't know. I heard him too.
Ground. What did you say, Mira? Or what did you say, Dia?
Mira can't see him from where she's standing at the moment, but she was like a foot out the door. I'm going to assume when she heard that and then started making a fool guys.
Eberron just kind of sighs and she goes, "God damn it, Silas! You alive over there?"
You don't hear anything.
God damn it.
And so, Ibarra, was this your magic again?
Well, considering what happened last time, I'm guessing it has to do something with my chaos magic. Sometimes it likes to have a mind of its own when it comes down to it, but with God, I could even just feel like that little sliver of that power coming off that woman. I wouldn't be surprised if my magic reacted that way. But
Before
I
you
hate
can
the fact
finish
that
that sentence, we move to
fuck.
Evan, you find yourself in the stable, surrounded by horses. 3, to be precise.
I think Evan currently is just like a flurry of skirt and hay, and it's just, it's what in tarnation every time people. And then she'll look at the horses and be like, "Well, I guess there's worse things. Y'all all right?"
All right, so give me a perception check too. We'll call this a free action just so you can kind of get your bearings.
Sure. Perception. 21.
Okay, so you do hear the yelling to the east, and you kind of get a sense of where everybody is, or at least is gathering up.
Okay. I think with that, she will head out of the barn, just at a full sprint. So that's movement and dash, and my long strider is gone, so my speed goes back to 30. Sometimes. Oh my god. How do I do the thing? Let me do it, please. Oh my goodness. It's like I've lost control of it.
Oh, it's okay. Where are you looking to go? Total 60, you said?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just towards the direction of the yelling. Oh, it's letting me measure.
Okay, you're going to basically be right here.
Yeah.
All right. As we see in this broader picture, everyone here, as we go back to the top of our initiative with Mirashana.
Mira is going to continue forward from where she heard Silas yelling. This point. What are you looking like, Silas? Are you just full on flop down?
He do be paralyzed, so like there might be a little bit of a spasm here and there, but he is face down in the proverbial mud, bleeding from the chest.
Oh no, not good. Mira is making a full dash towards you and kneeling down to grab you by the shoulders, and she will use 5 hit points from her lay on hand to restore your paralyzed condition.
With that, sorry, just making sure that I'm no longer paralyzed.
Michael?
One more time? Sorry, cut out.
Lay on hand to remove the paralyzed condition.
Let's see.
As an action, you can touch a creature to restore any number of HP remaining in the pool, or 5 HP to either cure a disease or neutralize. Oh, sorry, that would be a poison. Never mind.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
sorry,
always
Sam.
poison.
No.
Paralysis isn't really a disease. So it's
What?
only technically it's a poison. It would have to be more of, since it's a magical effect, it would have to be something
Damn.
along the lines of like lesser restoration.
I have removed curse. I look away from you for one moment. What happened?
He just stuttering speech.
Paralyzed.
Can't respond.
What are you thinking? I still have detect thoughts. And by the way,
Mirashana, what is your AC right now?
14, but I can cast shield as a reaction.
Which will make it
9. Let me double check that. Yes, 19.
okay. Only thing is, you don't know where this is coming from. So, even with shield, even with that kind of extrasensory idea, you miss the AC by 1.
No!
And you are going to take 25 points of necrotic damage.
Ouch.
Not only that, you cannot regain hit points until the start of whatever did this to you's turn. Next turn, rather. So that was a legendary action. Very well. Delilah, we go back to you.
Okay. Just so I have this right from the start, do me, the horse, and the raven all have separate turns that just work at the same time, or do I have to command them to do certain things?
If you're using the horse as a mount, I believe that. Let me see. I believe does that up your speed?
Yes.
It does. Yes.
It has a speed of 40.
Okay. So you can have the action to mount it and move if you'd like. Yeah, the horse's speed is 60.
I have a draft horse, though.
Oh, okay. I thought this was a riding horse. Okay.
I probably should have a riding horse. I don't know why draft horse is what got put in my sheet.
They're cool.
It's
They're
half your
cheaper.
movement to mount a creature, so yeah, well, that'll be just half of your movement, and then the horse's movement to add on to that.
Okay. So... I'm trying to figure out going which direction would get me there faster. Probably this way. Do-do-do.
Yeah, it might be a bit before you're able to catch up with the party, but we'll see.
It's gonna be a second. It's gonna be a second. Delilah will mount the horse and kick it to go. Would it be a thing that, like... No, that won't work. Will you allow me as a bonus action to give Bits one of our clicking codes and send him to go meet with the rest of the party?
Absolutely. So with that, a familiar crow will be heard in the distance by the party. Crow or raven? I'm sorry.
It's a raven.
Raven. The familiar raven noise will be heard by the rest of the party as it is coming closely. Its fly speed is what?
50. So from where I am, it can go just 50 feet.
All right, so it'll essentially get closer. Yeah, it'll kind of get up onto the roof of the bar, and you'll hear the and from the top there. I've practiced that raven noise, by the way.
I think that's all I can do.
Okay. Very well. Silas, you have the ability now to make a saving throw again.
Let's try one.
It is a DC 20. Con.
Nope.
Right, you are still paralyzed. Very well. Ichabod.
Considering that I was running because of what Silas said, and then Silas went down, and then Mirashana came out, and I'm on the rooftop. Can I attempt to spot where any of these things may be coming from, or anything?
I will give you the option of what sense you would like to use in order to try and detect where you think it might be coming from.
Part of me is thinking, what is the wind like right now?
Ooh, that's a very good question. Let's say it's coming from the north, so it's going south.
It's going south, it's coming from the north.
So like this direction.
Yeah. There's just that part of me, and I may be overdoing this in my brain of thinking like Silas is falling, that small building is blocking north from where he is. I'm actually going to attempt to use hearing. I'm going to, in case this person is casting something vocally, or my Dampier persona.
So you're trying to see if there were any kind of
verbal,
like verbal or somatic that you may have sensed. Yeah, give me. You can make it Arcana or Perception.
Perception. Do I get any advantage from the position?
Yes.
Or?
Yes, I will say from your viewpoint and your kind of sense of the wind, I'll let that be with advantage.
That'll be a 25.
Ooh. You have a sense that something north of you is casting. Or had cast that spell.
Something from the north. Anything that I would be able to see visually from where I am?
No.
Okay. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to find whatever the best sort of like nook or area with whatever the structure of the outside of the church is,
Okay.
for me to kind of move in a way that maybe I have a cover. So I'm being covered from the north side of myself, keeping an eye on Silas and Mirashana below, but now my attention is entirely in the direction north, as I still have some of the magic missile rifles with me. So I'm just going to be scanning for anything that may happen either on the rooftops of the buildings north or anything in that area.
Okay.
I know that I rolled a perception. Would I be able to hold an action that if anything moves before my turn in the vicinity of that I'm looking, that I can maybe take a shot?
Yeah, I will let you say if you notice something that's within your range of the weapon you're going to use, you can use the reaction to shoot it.
Great. So that's 120 feet.
Fantastic.
And yeah, that would be my turn.
Okay. Well, right now I need you to make a. I need you to make a Constitution saving throw.
That's a 13.
You're going to take 30 points of poison damage as a poisonous gas erupts from this point that you start to see from the north, and like a cloud just starts to envelop you as you inadvertently inhale it into your lungs, and you are going to be poisoned for a minute.
Great. I am going to be Ichabod instantly sees around, and then he starts coughing and starts sort of like writhing down, crouching behind whatever cover, as he's pretending because he's immune to poison. But he's going to pretend that he actually was damaged, and now he's just basically kneeling.
A deception.
Why can it be performance though?
Excuse me. No, well, it's deception because you just said you were lying.
Yeah, but I'm performing the.
Let me see.
Please.
No, this has got to be deception. This has got to be
not
deception. Oh, you just hear a small cackle as whatever it is able to see through your ruse.
If that cackle happened, does that count as me spawning something within my range?
Yes, you can shoot it because you know where it came from.
Wonderful. So, small victories.
And I will reveal where you're able to see. Once it's able to. There we go. It's just to the north of you. You see Lady Ilmara.
That's the moment that as I'm doing the coughing and I hear the cackling, it's just that moment of gotcha. And it's just immediate race and just throw the 3 magic missiles
All right.
her direction as I shout, north!
Roll them.
Wonderful. That's 5 on the first one. That is 4, so that's 9. And 5, so that's 14.
Okay, 14 points. You gotta love Magic Missile because you never have to worry if it just hits. 14 points of damage as just this kind of like shrugging off. What is the range with the rifle version? I believe that we had established it was 120 feet with the rifle. Yes. So just 3 shots fired off very quickly, and you are able to hit Lady Ilmaro. She brushes it off as it feels like nothing to her at this point. She's then going to use a legendary action. And again, I will need you, Ichabod. Actually, let me change the music a bit because we need to get a little more exciting now. I need you to make a wisdom saving throw.
Oh boy.
That's our break music.
It's an 11.
That's an 11. It is not enough. You are going to be frightened, unless you are immune to that as well.
His Majesty Lord DM, I have a question.
Yes.
This magical effect that is paralyzing me,
Yes.
does that require her concentration? And if so...
It does not.
Damn it!
I just double checked to make sure.
So I was gonna say.
This is way too, and this is way too. This is way too happy.
Silas dead on the ground, jamming away.
Go on, get him, guys. All right. So yeah, you are going to be. Are you? You're able to be frightened, right?
Yeah.
Well, you are in fact now frightened, as you just hear the whispers of her voice in your head at this point, saying, "I'm coming for you next, just like I did all your friends and family."
I'm gonna say that Ichabod probably what happens is as soon as he feels that ping in his head, he immediately turns and just like crouches, just leaning against the part of the wall of the church, the piece of the church that he was taking cover of, and now he's just there holding the rifle in this sort of like just very erratic breathing,
Okay.
not wanting to turn around.
And that was a legendary action, but it is now her turn. And she is going to... One moment. She's going to use her movement at this point. And make it... Let's see. How much movement does she have? Speed is 30 feet. That's just... Okay, so she is going to fly 30 feet. 5, 10, 15, 25, 30 to get up to the rooftop at this point here, up north. On one of the houses. All right. Then... As I check my measurements once more. 50 feet here.
Oh my god.
The house is in the way, so she can't quite see. So I'm going to say just because she likes to be taunting with you, that'll be her move. And there we go to Ivara.
It's Matt's turn?
Yes, it is.
Okay, well first, so this does not take an action, because it's part of like my witch hack spell. I would like to awaken Eidolon, which pretty much connects me even more with Bart. I can use a reaction to extend, he can use a reaction to extend hex to any creature within 30 feet. Weapons that he uses are considered magical, makes all of his spell DCs my spell DC. And if they take damage, they can use a reaction to, or I can use a reaction to grant resistance against said damage.
Okay.
And with that out of the way, do I hear this bitch?
Oh, yeah. She's not hiding it anymore.
Okay. So she is immediately going to head in the direction of Silas and Mira. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. And I don't think I can see her from the angle that I'm at. But I am going to have Bart fly up over the house. And how far away is this lady? 60 feet. How long is the short range pistols?
I believe we said those were 60.
60? Oh, that's perfect. And Bart's going to fire off one of the magic missiles.
Fantastic.
At that lady. And all right, for Bart's a +4 to hit. Oh, fuck yeah, that's an 18 plus 4? 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, or 22?
Well, magic missile doesn't need to roll to hit. They just hit.
Oh, fuck yeah. So, how much damage does magic missile do? That would be what's the damage for magic missile?
It's 1d4 plus 1.
1d4 plus 1. Alright, that will be 3 plus 1 for 4 points of damage.
All right. Hey, damage is
And
damage.
Ibarra magic missile is 3 projectiles, so
Yeah, so you get 3 of them.
Okay. Alright, that second one is 3 plus 1 for another 4. 4 plus 1 for 5.
Okay.
And you know what? Fuck it. I think we need it right now, considering the situation that's going on. I am going to cast Circle of Power.
Okay. What does that do?
Give me a moment. Let me pull up the. It's a 5th level spell. Let me pull it up real fast. Sorry, I don't have like my spell list in front of me. Okay. So 30. It has a 30-foot radius. Divine energy radiates from you, distorting and diffusing magical energy within 30 feet of you. Until the spell ends, the spear moves with you, centered to on you. For the duration, each friendly creature in the area, including you, has advantage on saving throws against spells or magical effects. Additionally,
Awesome.
when an affected creature succeeds on a saving throw against a spell or magical effect that allows it to make a saving throw to take only half damage, it instead takes no damage if it succeeds the saving throw.
Okay, so basically you're going to be able to help now those of them who
I
need
believe, and
for
it
their next
also
turn.
it also says I dispel any magical energy within 30 feet of me. So would that actually take away the magical paralyzation on Silas?
No,
No?
it is only going to be. That would be, I believe, like an area of effect spell. As that's how I've interpreted it.
It's a 30-foot radius
Yeah,
centered
but like
around
if
me.
you would be basically kind of like being able to stop an area of effect with that, but their next turn they are able to save with advantage. So
Okay, all right, sounds good.
okay, with that we go back to Evan, who is not too far away.
Yeah, I've got control of my thing again. So I'm going to move 25 to here.
Okay.
And look up to Mira as I kneel down to Silas and like, what's wrong with him?
I can't move. Paralyzed.
And Evan is going to put a hand on the sparse grass next to this building and a hand on Silas and do lesser restoration.
Fantastic. With magic flowing through you via nature and your connection to it, Silas, you feel yourself awaken out of the paralyzation.
Yay!
Get up, cowboy.
Yes, ma'am. And well, we're gonna have to wait.
Here, I'll get rid of that for you.
Now I got it. That one's prone because I am prone.
Oh, you're right. You are prone. Okay. Such an honest player.
Yeah. If I'm going to annihilate Eleanor Vitae, I want to do it by the book.
All right. Great, Evan. That is that your turn?
Yeah.
Okay.
Action and movement.
Back to the top. Mirashana.
Mira is going to use some of her movement to get a line of sight on Eleanor Vitae. Whoop, and I dropped my mirror dice. Does not count. I'm going to roll to hit for one of her guiding bolts.
Okay.
Does an 18 plus 9 hit?
It will. Yes.
She is going to use the meta magic also to make the 4th level guiding bolts into a bonus action. Oh my god, my heart is beating so fast. 27 points of radiant damage. And then she's going to follow up with one of her cantrips, which is Firebolt. See if that hits. Does an 18 hit?
An 18 just misses.
So what happens is this sudden ray of radiant light streams towards Vita, who was within my 240 feet of range, and just illuminates the area where she stands. And Mira, in her rage, follows up with a bolt of blue fire that just misses by her head, just for impact. Because that was such a...
You see it just blast into her at this point. You can see like bits of her essence are kind of like thrown back and propelled off of her from the damage there. And you realize it's not so much of it being the kind of magic, but just the willpower that you put through into this spell, and the feeling behind it, as it were. All right. Are you moving at all, or anymore? Or are you where you are?
I will move back.
Okay.
Let's see. Let me check how much my...
So basically, come around the corner, fuck you, and then come back.
Yes, I'm moving back a little bit further behind. Here.
All right. Basically,
did that seem to do any damage to her at all?
Oh, it did damage. It didn't do, a lot. It was, you had a total of, like, oh, never mind. I already got it. Okay. Cool. We are at Delilah now. All the way over there.
I'm strategizing. Hold on.
I see.
Gets me within range.
Go for it. And also, I believe we said the rifle's magic missile damage is double of a pistol.
Well, I've also got other shit that I can use that's
Cool.
within that range.
All right.
So, as Delilah mounted her horse and spurred it into motion and is just at a neck-breaking speed, is barreling down this main road. First with the intent of trying to meet with everybody else, but then hearing and seeing this bitch over here. All of her attention shifts, and it's... Nobody else can see her, but like to the camera and to the audience, it's this very fast click from mildly concerned companion to predator, to a hunter. And as she gets close enough where she has the range, her eyes, that milky, filmy white that they normally are, dip a little bit into this very, very dark purple around the edges, and tendrils almost spiral in on the insides, as she raises one of her hands up to shoot a guiding bolt.
Okay.
Which we're going to do at 2nd level, which is the highest that I have right now.
All right.
It's 5d6. Well, I gotta roll a hit first, but I'm
Yes.
finding my d6s.
I was like, you're counting your chickens before they hatch, but
I gotta roll the hit first. I know. That would be a 23.
23 will hit.
$17 points of radiant damage.
All right.
What are my bonus actions? I'm gonna save that for later. It's not gonna do me a lot of good right now. Where can I move that in a turn? 20 feet? Nah, not worth it. I think that'll be her turn, as she's just waiting till she can get where she's lethal.
Okay. We then move to Silas, who has been awoken.
Silas is going to, first of all, stand up. Would the real Silas Hayden please stand up? So that's half my movement. So 15, really quick. Didn't check the range on the first thing that I wanted to do. $10 feet. Yeah, that'll work. So 5, 10, 15 there for the last half of his movement. Silas is then going to, as a bonus action, tap the Eldritch Cannon Protector mode on his shoulder so that himself, Evan, and Mira all hit. Of course, I roll low. 7 points of temporary HP.
Okay.
With that, he's going to look to Evan and just be like, "Thank you. Are you all right?"
I'm fine, killer.
Looking over his shoulder to Mira, same thing. "Are you all right?"
Been better. Will be even more better when she's dead.
All right. Official measurement for what I would like to do with my action. 55 feet is less than 60. I would like to... Yeah. He's going to raise the wand pointed in her direction, and this isn't one of his fire bolts. It's a small orb of multicolored light that lands directly at her feet, bathing a 20-foot cube in fairy fire. She needs to make a dexterity saving throw.
She will use her legendary resistance.
God damn it. Set that bitch plays.
I knew you'd say that, because that means that after the legendary resistance goes through, I can make her roll again with silvery barbs.
Okay.
Smash!
What is the save and what is the stat?
The DC, let me double check. Artificer DC, it's a dexterity save, DC 17.
Okay. Adding +3 to this. That is a 7.
All right.
Who would you like to give advantage to, by the way? Let's just put that out there ahead of time.
I'm gonna I'm gonna pocket that advantage for myself.
Fair enough.
Because so long as I have concentration, everybody has advantage against her.
Okay.
And
Well
also,
done.
she can't pull that invisibility bullshit again.
Well, also, Silas, remember, Ivara does have the Circle of Power out right now. So if you want to drop something, Ivara does have a spell up that will currently give people at least advantage on saving throws.
Right.
If you stay within her range, yeah.
Yeah.
Right, but me holding on to that advantage is actually going to be for my concentration check.
Ah, smash.
I hate silvery barbs. Just gonna go on record.
Michael, after this campaign, if whatever game I ever play, if it's Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition, I will not use silvery barbs.
You're a liar. Ichabod.
Okay.
You
Frightened.
can make it another con save. No, excuse me, wisdom save.
Do I have advantage because of Ivara?
Yes, because you are in range of the circle of power.
Would that count as an action? Like my main action of my turn?
This would be, yes, if you would like to, but because the thing is, within the frightening presence, you basically, it's very much like frightened. You can't go towards her, you can only retreat, but you are able to. There is a very good thing that can happen should you save.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Well, in that case, I'm
Very
going.
That will
Oh,
work
well.
for you.
If that is a case, good stuff. I'm going to use Stillness of Mind, which allows me to end any condition that gives me charmed or frightened. And
Okay.
so the way that this looks like is Ichabod is leaning against the thing and he's just like trembling. Eventually he just closes his eyes, takes a deep breath, and he just goes, "Do not fear the fall, do not fear the fall," as he's visualizing himself training with his family in the circus, imagining himself flying from trapeze to trapeze, being afraid of falling, but in his mind jumping from one to another, feeling like he's not going to make it. And as his hand in his mind's eye makes it to the trapeze, his eyes open once more with resolve, and the fear is gone.
In fact, since you were successful in that, you are now immune to her frightening presence for the next 24 hours.
Smash.
Great.
And that will essentially be your turn. However, now... Oh, wait, no. Unless you can do something else. I apologize.
Technically, that's an action.
Right. So what I meant to say is, do you have a bonus action?
So, can I, because I'm assuming, I don't know how this church looks like wherever I'm on top of this church, I'm assuming
Yeah.
it's not just like a
I
flat building.
feel like you're kind of gargoyling it right now, kind of like clinging onto the edge.
Yes, so can I use my movement to sort of traverse and attempt to hide from her while like crawling
yeah.
through like the roof?
You want to get behind the spire, or
Sure.
or you're near a spire.
like basically
So I would
would
say
want
that, like, you see where that bedroom area is, right around here. We'll say that there is like a ledge that is around that area that you can use to hide.
great. So like because that's
And just for the fun of it, please make a luck check. That's just going to be a flat D20 roll.
for a what now?
A luck check. This is to see, how well you're hiding, essentially, for your own sake.
That's a nat 20.
Okay. Now you're going to hate me for this, but I need you to... Whoa, I zoomed in way too far. I need Ichabod and Ivara to make a dex save. You will have advantage, obviously, because you are in that circle of power.
You said a dex save?
Yes.
That'll be a 28.
With an advantage. With advantage, that will be 19 plus 2 for a 21.
And what was yours, Ichabod?
28.
Okay.
And we take no damage. if it imposes damage.
Here's the thing. She's not targeting you, because what you hear is, I am going to destroy everything you hold dear. And she will launch a fireball at the church. Would you like to jump, Ichabod? That's the only reaction you're going to be able to get with Dex save.
I mean, if the whole building is catching on fire,
We'll basically see how much, because it's 8d6.
I mean, I'm going to say Ichabod being an acrobat. He's going to obviously, if he manages to avoid the fire from the direct attack, and then he feels like this place is actually just catching fire to the point that it's detrimental to his location and he cannot stay on it anymore, then he will definitely like seek to make his way down.
So, going against the wood substance AC on a object's damage threshold, which this building is made of, and considering that I rolled 30 points of fire damage to engulf the building, it is essentially going to engulf it, as it did double the threshold. You will then only you won't take damage because of the immunity to damage from the word of power, I believe. So the only thing you're basically, if you're jumping, you're not taking damage from this spell, but we're going to see if there's fall damage.
Can I persuade you to roll an acrobatic so that
I
Ichabod's not
absolutely ask
just
you to
jumping?
do so.
I don't know what sort of scaffolding they had back in the Eberron days.
I'm going to say, if you're trying to jump to the building next door, you're welcome to do an acrobatics.
I
I
absolutely
do that action hero parkour, like leap.
Absolutely. And that's when the dice decide to fail me. That's an 11.
Okay. You're going to take some fall damage.
Of course I am.
But it's not going to be too far. It's only 10 feet. Fall damage is 1d6 bludgeoning damage. So I'm going to let you roll a d6. See how much you take. 4 points of bludgeoning damage. All right. For you, that's barely a scratch. But you all see that the church, this chapel, this place where it all began, is now engulfed in fire and flame. Ironically, the Church of the Silver Flame now being lit up like a candle as pieces of it are starting to fall off and come down, and as it almost is collapsing within itself. Ivara, you are watching this now as it is your turn, as you have seen this building become engulfed in flame.
So, Ivara, though she's pretty much by herself, more for like the audience. Ivara's eyes are wide as she is looking at this church just burst into flames. And then her face kind of goes from shock to just absolute rage as she starts walking around the building. Be 30 feet. Give me a minute. Gotta go to Owlbear. Come on, load! So give me a moment, my computer's being slow. Come on. Alright. 5, 10,
Fire.
15, 20, 25, 30. And will I be able to see her at this point?
At this point, yes.
Okay. Ivara just absolutely furious, just looks at this undead individual and just goes, "This ain't happening again. God fucking damn it." And she is going to raise her hands and she is going to cast lightning bolt.
Okay. He's going to counter.
Okay. Then that is that.
And I'm assuming you cast that at 3rd level.
Yes.
Okay, so that just points it out. And she goes right back to you, and you think she's going to do this, and she just straight up goes.
What did she do?
She knows that's the language you speak.
What did she do? Did she flip me off? I'm sorry, I was on Owlbear.
Yeah.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful.
She's like, I'm gonna do this at her level. And unless you want to move again,
hold
pretty
on.
much all you can do.
Okay. Bonus action, she will give me a moment.
Now, my rule for spellcasters is that a bonus action can be a cantrip if you so choose.
Okay.
Being that she just used her reaction, she can't do it again, so you would be able to fire one off at her.
Okay, then Ivara's just going to chuckle as she just kind of raises her hand and she goes like this and casts Sacred Flame, and they're going to have to make a DC of 16.
Okay.
A wisdom, or not wisdom save, a dex save.
Dex. Okay, well, she has no adding to dex for saving throws, so good call. That's only a 9.
All right, that will be 2d8 radiant damage, and I would also like to inflict my moon hex on her, which means she gets a -4 to any attack that she rolls, as well as any saving throw until my next turn.
Doctor.
So, as for
Love magic battles.
that would be 2d8. So that will be, first one is a 7, second is an 8, 2d8, so 7 plus 8, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, that'll be 15 points of radiant damage.
Hey, guess how much total you've all done collectively to her?
What?
69.
Hey.
So, but
That means we got an extra attack, everybody.
I rolled for nice.
But Ivara just stands there and she goes, I'll do the same as they do to a witch. I'll fucking burn you, bitch. And she just
All right.
she is not a happy camper.
We now go back to our druid, Evan. You have witnessed now the church go in flames.
Yeah, that's not good. That's not good. Sir DM, how she's up on a roof?
Oh fuck! I forgot Bart's turn. Oh well, it's fine. Go ahead.
So she's up on a roof. How much is the space around her? Like, is she on like a corner edge of a sloped roof, or
Yeah, she's basically right on the edge of this one-story building, which is even with the building that Ichabod is on top of right now. So they're at the same eyesight.
Okay. So if there were like other creatures next to her, for example, would she potentially be pushed off?
Go on.
So Evan is going to reach into her little pouch that has her components and pull out some berries and say, "Y'all be good boys now," and throw them, and I'm gonna summon woodland creatures, and 8 blink dogs. Please and thank
Okay.
you.
Okay. I'm just gonna keep that in my head because I don't
It's
know
fine.
if I have enough, but I will figure something out.
I need to roll their own spot in initiative.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
they move as a group.
They do move as a group, which is good. I'm going to put I'm going to use this Fae as a marker, and you may choose to put it where you will, and that will act as your group of blink dogs.
Yay. It's 15 plus what is your thing, my puppies?
Blink dog puppies, as Dia just mentioned, buppies.
Puppies.
Hashtag puppies. I love it. I love it so much.
Oh, their dex is the same as mine. Okay, so that's 16 is their position. Okay. So they have 40 foot of movement speed, and they can teleport up to 40 feet as well.
Okay.
And with summoning, how far ahead can I summon them? I'm like looking through two different things at the same time.
No, that totally makes sense because you want to summon them to a certain point, and then you're trying to move them to a point without having to teleport. I get it.
Yes. Okay. 60 foot. Great.
Fantastic. So, where would you like them to be summoned?
On top of her.
Right on top of her. Okay. So we'll say next to it, just so that we can both see them.
Yes.
And
I just want a cascade of dogs to fall on top of her.
It's raining dogs.
Cats and dogs.
It is literally raining dogs. And just like in this Cruella de Vil voice, you just hear her go, "What is this?"
Yes. Can they bite now, or do I need to wait for their...
Since you summon them, and then they follow your initiative as their turn, yes.
Yay.
They may do the thing.
Chomp. Bite.
Okay. Let's see if... Now, you summoned how many?
8.
So that is 8 bite attacks that you may attempt to hit.
Yes. You know, it's larger numbers. Where did you go? Blink dog. There you are. So they don't have a lot.
Oh, and hi to everybody who is rating our channel, by the way. Thank you, El Ravager. Welcome, Raiders. Preferred you at Los Angeles.
So, the first one is 18.
Miss.
Second one, 19.
Hit.
Okay, good to know.
I'll keep track.
19 again.
Hit. That's 2 hits.
Screen is getting blocked by things. That's 18.
Miss.
They're doing so well. Oh, that's 15.
Miss.
I'm just gonna
That's
roll.
4, so I think you're halfway through.
I'm just going to roll 4 d20s because this is taking
That'll do it as well. So you've got 3 hits, 2 hits so far.
Okay, so that's 1 nat 20 and 1 18, so 2 more hits with 1 being a crit.
Oh, okay.
Go for the throat.
Roll the 3 regular hits at regular amount, and then double the 4th one.
I think it's yes. Okay. So you have So it is
Good Blinky boys indeed.
1d6 plus 1.
This is going to be a
So-
significant amount of damage from the dogs.
3d6 plus 3. So that's 11 plus 3 for the regular ones. And then
14 damage.
2 puppies. 2d6. That's 8 plus 1.
Okay. You watch as you see these just some getting at her, some not quite, tearing away at the kind of ethereal clothing. Being that they are fake creatures, they are able to like literally grab onto this cosmic material and pull from her, and nipping at the heels literally as they just appear at her. Very well done. All right. Anything else that you can do?
I'm gonna move
Okay.
just out of her
Out of
line
town.
of sight.
I'm just gonna move
please.
out of town. I'm going somewhere else, guys. I should have done that
just
a
gonna-
long time ago.
Just gonna, yes, honestly,
Gonna go
I'm
to
just
the
gonna
city.
move there, so
Settle
I'm not
up
in her
the
direct line of sight.
All right.
Yeah.
Fantastic turn. Well done. We are now going to go to Mirashana.
Mira's eyes are fixed on the church. And as we know, her rage is not this hot or consuming thing. It's cold and it's fragile, like bottled lightning about to break. Or a bomb slowly about to detonate. She doesn't need to say anything, but as the church goes up in flames, she holds her hand out towards the sky, where through the muggy darkness that surrounds the town, she summons forth another bolt of radiant damage that pierces through the darkness. Does a 22 hit
22
or
hits.
another damage. And she's using 2 more sorcery points to make this a quicken spell.
Okay.
So it is a bonus action for her. That is 18 points of radiant damage. And for her action, she's going to use Lay on Hands to heal herself for 20 points. 20 hit points.
All right. You watch as your radiant damage once again focuses entirely on her, as she is being bitten by several blink dogs at the same time. It just this barrage of magic and attacks that seemingly are just so concentrated on her, and you're wondering like if she's she has been able to counter at certain points and dodge and move out of the way, but as well as it seems her focus right now is not just trying to physically destroy you, but also try to get in your heads by the very destruction of the church. By the way, just wanted to go back to real quick to Ivara. I forgot we were going to do a quick retroactive spell on.
It's all good. I'm so sorry. I'm not used
it's
to
okay.
playing with companions, and I completely forget that he follows right behind my initiative. Silas, how you looking, buddy?
Silas, all things considered, not nearly as bad as Mirashana just was, but now Mirashana's about just as good. So take your pick. Oh, actually, unless also
Or Ichabod.
Ichabod.
Well, Ichabod's above you, so they would have to move up to do the thing that you want to do.
Well, Bart can fly, so
Right. Okay.
Um,
Yeah, basically it's only those who went.
he's already up in the air, by the way.
Yeah. So it's only those who went before you that you'd be able to get at just before Mira's. So yeah, you can have your familiar heal, do some healing to Ichabod if they so choose.
Ichabod, are you like who all looks worse, Silas or Ichabod?
I only have like 4 points down.
Yeah, they've just been scratched a bit.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. I'm gonna go ahead and heal Silas. Then you see a flying monkey just kind of circle around, just as you just hear, as you feel healing it come over you. It'll be 1d4 plus 4, so you will get 7 points of healing. Yay!
Thank you so much.
The 7 points is 7 points. If it can save you from disaster.
I imagine just like your flying monkey just taking a pocket of like pixie dust practically and just like Silas, you have no idea what this stuff is, but it feels good. All
At
right.
least it's not monkey shit.
Delilah, you are getting ready to do something. We watch as Delilah measures up their shot. Looks like she's going for a 9-iron.
Seems her enemy is about to fuck around and, as we've heard the term, find out.
Wind is going south at this point. We'll see how that affects her game.
I can't with you guys.
Just eyeing the shot at this point, you know. Want to get a good feel for this range, you know. The par is usually about 20 at this point.
Would you look there at the tumbleweed?
You know, just hope that they don't fire into the water. Spiritual weapon in the form of a 9-iron, please.
Do I want to try doing this one?
Of course you do.
Is it worth it?
Yes, it is.
I don't think it is. Not right now. I don't think it would be.
All right.
Not now, then when? It might never be. Do it, KJ. Go for it.
No,
Always.
I'm trying to optimize my things. What Delilah's gonna do? Spurring the horse forward even further. Will pull the rifle version of the wand essentially out, and we'll use. I don't know if there's a specific amount of charges, but Delilah's going to use everything it's got.
Okay.
Because I don't actually have
That's
this item
12.
in my inventory.
Yeah, you had 12 for the rifle, 6 for the pistol.
So if I'm using all 12, how much damage am I rolling?
Well, you can only use 1 per.
Only one per
action.
turn?
Yeah, because it's like firing a gun,
Ooh-wee.
but you get to roll 2d4.
The question's... Yeah, I was like, I don't know how much damage I'm rolling.
Actually, no, I think we said 2d8 for the rifle. Yeah, we'll go with that because it's a rifle. It's a lot more powerful.
And I get 3 beams per thing, right?
Yeah, basically one shot will like do a scatter shot of 3, so you know.
Got it.
Delilah with the shotgun, shooting to the worst one.
Mira's theme song.
Uh, 20 points of damage.
Woo! That hurt. That hurt.
And then I'm within 60 feet. Bonus
You are.
action, spiritual weapon.
Okay, what's your spiritual weapon going to be?
Her spiritual weapon manifests as she takes the shots and then just I'm imagining there's a sling to this, so drops it so that the sling hits her arm, so she still has it, but has her hands free as she pulls her whip from her side and this ethereal whip manifests next to motherfucker over here as Delilah is actually using her own personal whip. The one across the field is mimicking its actions.
Okay.
I'm doing it at second level because I need as much damage as I can.
All
Yes, Matt, I know I have advantage.
right. Okay, we're just reminding on.
Okay. 27 to hit.
That'll hit. And just let me know what kind of damage this is once it hits.
It's force damage.
Force damage. Okay. You're lucky on that one.
So that's 9 points of force damage.
All right. She just watches you the entire time as you barrage her with these attacks. And yeah, that'll do it then. That's going to be Silas up next.
I think.
Michael, are we ready to end this?
What would you like to do, my friend?
Silas, looking over particularly at Mira, who got slashed across the chest, has been seeing an after image of his old best friend after they just got run through by the Lord of Blades. Silas is going to... I can't move them on Twitch. I have to open up Owlbear Rodeo. Hang on.
Yes, you're not clicking on the screen, the proper screen.
We're going to take our full movement closer to her,
Okay.
30 feet. During this walk, Silas is going to pull out 9 small pieces of kyber, charging them in his hand until they become a ball of fire energy, which goes directly into the wand that he has been working on for years.
Smash.
And as he's loading this proverbial pistol, he just says, I think I heard somebody say, burn the bitch. And as he points this wand at Eleanor Vitae, Lady Ilmaro, he fans the hammer as I cast with my action and bonus action via Quicken Spell, Scorching Ray at 4th and 3rd levels respectively for a total of 9 shots. All out of damage because of fairy fire.
All right.
Okay.
Theater.
Let's start with just the attack rolls. We're gonna figure out how many hit. Who
And
wants
if you
to
were
count how
within
many
30
I roll?
If you're within 30 feet of me, you have... Oh, no, that's... Never mind, you don't have advantage.
Oh, I have advantage because of the fairy fire that I still have up.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck yeah.
And furthermore, twice beyond this, if I miss, I can use 2 additional sorcery points to roll again for Seeking Spell.
I know how many hit points are left on Lady Ilmara. And this may do it.
All right. Somebody keep track of how many hits we have. At number 1. Oh, these are all at plus 10 because that's my modifier to hit.
Smash.
Fuck me!
That is a 23.
It's a hit.
That's 1.
Yeah. We've established that her AC is 19.
That is a natural 20.
Whoa, boy, howdy.
That is a 29 to hit.
Oh,
Another hit, yes. We have 3 hits, one of which is a crit.
27 to hit.
That is another hit. That's 4. 4 for 4 right now.
That is a dirty 20 to hit.
We'll do it.
$29 to hit.
Yes. I'm so curious.
The one that is cocked is going to be lower, so that is a dirty 20 to hit.
Uh-huh. You have 11 of these?
9.
Oh, 9. Okay.
16 on the 8th one.
That'll be a miss.
So for that one, I will burn 2 sorcery points for seeking spell for 1 more d20.
Okay.
devastate her.
It rolled low, so 1 miss.
Okay.
This is the last one. 21 to hit.
You have gotten 8 out of 9.
So
Oh boy.
this is
7 of them are regular damage. 1 is double.
So that is okay. 7 times 2 for 2d6 apiece is 14. Okay, so wait, actually, we'll do 16 d6s because one of them's just going to be plus 12.
Okay.
But then it's going to be plus 8 because of his wand. So
Roll them first and then
14
add
D-
modifiers.
14 d6s plus 20.
Jesus Christ.
Fuck this. I'm actually getting out 14 d6s.
Attaboy.
Oh, this is going to be so delicious.
I have never been so
8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13.
conflicted over somebody else getting the win on a boss before. Because, like, me, the player, I'm so here for this. But Delilah is going to be so upset.
Same for
It can be.
Honestly, while Silas is lighting this bitch up, Ibarra is just fucking grinning ear to fucking ear. Just looking dead at that bitch, just, yes.
The dice ASMR.
Silas, you
Oh,
just here and you
Oh, yeah.
finish this, and then let's go home.
2, 6, 8, 9, 10, 14, 17, 21, 24,
Jesus.
27, 31, 34, 38, 44, 45 plus 20, so 65 points of fire damage. As he just, like a cowboy, fans the hammer at her. And with each shot saying, "This is for Worm Watch."
Yeah! Oh!
I'm now going to show you how many hit points Lady Ilmaro had left.
60.
Oh,
Beautiful!
Silas,
beautiful.
please tell us how you finish the Bane of Wormwatch.
Just like that, just fanning the hammer, walking towards her, saying, "This is for Worm Watch." Just one ray after the other. And just impacting her all throughout her torso, and the very last one going directly between her eyes.
And that's exactly what you see happen as bolt after bolt, ironically powered and fueled by the very thing that returned her to the material plane, powered by the one thing that her vessel searched for, dug deep, sacrificed her own kind for, throwing them at you and the many townspeople who had influenced it, some who inadvertently were a part of it. But of all the lives that have been taken in the time that you have all been a party together, none feels more justified than the withering away and hearing the final screams of the Lich Queen of Death, completely engulfed in a white-hot nova of a flame that erupts in a blinding light. And in a moment that at the same time feels like a second and almost forever, you watch as a rippling effect distorts the entire town and reverts it back to its best days as the town of Wormwatch returns with all who dwell in it living, and out of that one frozen moment, you see everyone in town reunite, and with a cheer out into the heavens, the town of Wormwatch is restored.
Salas, you did it!
Question.
Yes.
With her being gone and me knowing things about Delilah, how is she looking?
You watch, everyone. Everyone else watches the town really being restored at this point. And Delilah, you look around and you see life surrounding you once again. And where there were formerly faces that turned away from you, you see smiles from all around you. Some even strangers embracing you in celebration for the fact that they're alive. And for once, the touch of another mortal does not feel cold. As you look down at your hands and see that they are no longer of a paler color, but rather that of returning flesh and blood. As you see it and feel it for the first time in a long time, you hear your heart beating once more. The
I
curse
think
that once
it's happening.
overtook your entire life, one that was bestowed upon you by this lich in a time gone by long ago, has been broken.
I think after she's gone and people start reemerging and Delilah is still atop her horse and Bits comes and lands on her shoulder, as Delilah's life is returned to her and she no longer looks like a shell of the person she used to be. Life also returns to her horse and to her raven, the very specific identifiers of that sickly green glowing magic that emanated from all three of these people and animals that you guys have known to look one way shifts extensively. You see color in Delilah's eyes as they, almost in a swirling often the misty white disappears and these very soft crystal blue eyes appear, attent and shocked and scared, unsure of what is happening or what to do. All of the scars and pockmarks that you see, the pockmarks are gone, but the scars that you had seen that looked like torn flesh that had been sewn back together are now healing. They look like it'll probably just be a normal scar in a couple of months. And her hair, which had been this very sickly green, tones down into a deep auburn as she becomes who she used to be over 90 years ago.
Familiar spurs walk up behind you, putting a metallic hand on your shoulder, Delilah. You hear the familiar voice of the once sheriff of Wormwatch, Copper Brass. Just go, I was right about y'all. You done good. You done real good. And with that, he pulls up his holster once more and adjusts his badge. Goes back to where he's always gone, feet up on the desk, leaning back in his chair, making sure that no ruckus continues. As for the rest of you, as all of this is going on and life is returning and celebration is happening, there is a bittersweetness to it all. As you watch the remaining cinder of the wood that once stood strong of the Church of the Silver Flames Chapel finally collapse in on itself, with only a smoldering smoke pile. It had been doused out by essentially a amateur fire brigade, but its structure is no more. It is just a pile of burnt wood, slowly turning into ash. Many of the most devout churchgoers are gathered around it and begin a hymn that many have heard on the weekly gatherings. One that was a song of reunion, and how every week was a chance to come together and give thanks to the community. This time, though, it has a bit of a somber tone to it. You've all individually, for the amount of time that you have been in this town, seen it gone through its growth and its peaks. And for some, it may have almost been its downfall. But over time, there is a rebuilding. There is a second chance for it all. And we move forward several years from here to find out where you will all be going in your lives at this point. We start with Ichabod, as you have been in a bit of a decision-making moment since the fateful day where is Ichabod's mind at this point? And what have they most likely been doing in their recovery time?
Just to be sure, his family is gone still, correct?
Yes.
I think Ichabod stayed in Wormwatch to help with the rebuilding, as a way of taking the time to figure out what to do, and as a way of sort of showing some level of appreciation to the town and the people that he fought alongside with. But with his family gone, and with his state of being, his new state of being, there are a lot of questions that he has still. And so, after the rebuilding is done, Ichabod takes the time to reach out to all the members of the Watch that he met and collaborated with, to thank them, but that he needs to go back on the road, even if he doesn't know what that means now, that he doesn't have the people that he traveled with and he trusted to do what he grew up doing.
And it is on the road that you are eventually approached by and given access to House Fjarlin. House Fjarlin is the Entertainers and Artisans Guild of the nation of Corvair, of the continent of Corvair. Fjarlin is an elven word that translates to spirit keeper. Something that, even though you are an acrobat by trade, you do have a more recent connection with the more spiritual side of the world and what it flows through. And it's there that along the road you are approached to be given a role in the Carnival of Shadows, one of the premier acts of touring. At that point, there is a house agent that approaches you after one of the touring shows. They are a slender individual who has been acting as kind of a financier of sorts. You've seen them handing out checks and to different performers after shows, going from city to city. But after a thrilling and spectacular event, one of which showed your athletic prowess and acrobatic ability, you're approached by an Elven House agent, is simply known by the guild inside and the Carnival of Shadows as Hudson. Well, Ichabod, once again, you have surpassed all my expectations, and you have done exactly as I predicted you could do, which is a top-notch show.
Thank you. I do what I can, I suppose.
His demeanor changes just for a bit as he can sense the tone in your voice. I think it's time that you understand what the Carnival of Shadows really is. We're not all too unfamiliar with your experience in Wormwatch.
He tenses up a little bit.
We think that someone like you, and what you may be able to do, and what I know you can do. You see, the shadows run deeper than just underneath our tents. I think you would be a fantastic addition to someone who may be a protector of certain things that lie beyond the shadows. Choice is yours.
I think there's a long pause, and he looks away. His hand goes for this little bead bracelet that he keeps on his belt that belonged to his brother. The last time when the shadows came, I couldn't do anything. I lost them. But I survived. I want to be ready next time. So tell me, what's next?
Reunion, my friend. Reunion in the Shadowfell. And he takes you off to talk business for a future time. Mirashana. At this point, you've truly evolved. Having been such a devout follower of a church that brought you in and trusted you with almost nearly a leadership role, only for you to come of your own and truly get more in touch with your divine nature that comes with your lineage. Since everything that has gone down and during the reformation of Wormwatch, what have you been up to?
Going back to the beginning of the end, I should say, Mirashana actually took what remained of Eleanor Vitae, whether it be ashes, whether it be a scrap of fabric, any semblance of her memory, and took that out into the desert, where she disappeared for a day, burying the Bane of Wormwatch in an unmarked grave, and cast funeral rites as a ceremony. As there's a part of her that never wishes for this to happen again, even if that Lich Queen rises again as merely a ghost to haunt the resident, she would not stand for that to happen. When she gets back, she would support the reformation of the church. She would assist in building it in the direction of it. Inspired by the polytheistic temple that they saw, but that they were welcome to before they were transported into that challenge with the Lord of Blades. She advocates for there to be a section dedicated not just to the Silver Flame, but to members of the Southern Host, to those who might walk the path of light, to those who might worship other powers that be without fear of judgment or persecution. And that is just an ideal that she shares with members of her former clergy. And while she maintains that the domain for the most part is theirs, there are others who come from outside and should still be welcomed within.
In time, Wormwatch does become not only an expansive growth of trade and education, a long course of history. Down the line, Wormwatch will eventually become a metropolis that rivals even that of Sharn. But in this Reformation time, you've planted the seeds of what could be a dream of hope for those who want to reach out to the divine in their own ways, free of being able to be judged or persecuted for such beliefs. Dreams are very powerful to the Kalishtar. The Dalquor, which is known as the region of dreams, quarry of which the Kalishtar derive their lineage of. One night, as you sleep, you dream in a most lucid way. You dream of a whole other realm. And what you see most clearly is a path. A path that winds, always moving forward, on a bridge made of pure light. It's before you, and the choice is yours in this dream of how you want to proceed. What does she do?
In the dream?
Mm-hmm.
Oh. You see, that's a difficult question. Because during this time, Mira has found that she no longer really walks this path alone. In the waking world, her husband sleeps. And that is a discussion they might need to have. But if she can still return to that, she will see where this dream leads. For now.
The path of light is one that Kalishtar see as a means of enlightenment. Perhaps one that you may find the end to in your own way. But that story has yet to come. Perhaps one day, your own moment of enlightenment may arrive. Evan, the druid of happenstance. The wrong place at the right time. And all of which has reconnected you with your roots, both figuratively and literally. Where is Evan at this point, and what has she been doing since the beginning of the reforming of the town?
I think Evan has busied herself a lot, making sure any necrotic energy that was left over has been thoroughly cleared from the plants, the animals, the land itself. Anything she can do to try to improve. She's the child of wanderers and has been struggling to not be a wanderer herself. But as time passes, she finds that she's not thinking about leaving, and that really surprises her. This place of all places is the one that she doesn't have the urge to run from anymore. So she's still in Wormwatch.
And in Wormwatch, you are essentially seen as one of the most helpful people in agriculture redevelopment for this town. You help farmers with their livestock. You help replenish where needed. All in all, keeping a very low-key lifestyle, as it is a much-needed change from everything that you went through in just a short amount of time. And with your plethora of animals at your side, you have a nice homestead to yourself. One where you can practice as you wish your own druidic magic, but also do the thing that you love the most. Let's raise a farm.
Finally, some peace.
We go now to Ivara, the Witch of Wormwatch, the madam of one of the most infamous buildings in town, and also one who is seen still with a questioned reputation of sorts. Clientele, they've come and gone. Your girls, still strong. Your bar and your line of business, it's up to you how you would decide to handle its future. But the one thing that is constant is your understanding of yourself. Since your fight with your own inner demons manifested by the power of a Lich Queen, how does Ivara see themselves?
I would say present day currently, bar is probably running as usual. Girls are manning everything downstairs. Ivara is probably up in her study with her grimoire open. And she kind of fiddles with a chain around her neck that holds two wedding rings. One an engagement ring and the other a male wedding ring. And as well as a small little locket. And she is probably going through any correspondence that she has received, considering that outside of the brothel, she is also a criminal and a spy. So she uses her connections to seek out and try and find her daughter, who has been missing for a very long time. And she would probably keep as usual. She would always visit whoever would be in town, Mirashana, Silas. She would always visit, bringing magical baked goods and just food. That's just mainly her thing, doing as she always does, trying to take care of everybody in town. But she's always in the shadows. Her own little silent war is still just trying to find her daughter and just going through correspondence and running the bar as usual.
At some point throughout your entire tenure of talking to people and finding the right people to talk to, message gets across a network of individuals. And one day, a familiar face arrives at your door in the form of Ichabod. Now a bit more cleaned up, a bit more well-to-do, and wearing on his chest a lapel, the symbol of House Fjarlin.
Is Ivara familiar with them, I'm guessing?
The Entertainment Guild, in reality, is a spy network.
Hey, twinsies!
Would you say that in some time, the two of you have been at least being able to reach out to work in some way or another to help?
I would say if Ichabod were to become privy of the fact that Ivara is also part of these circles, and Ivara would have divulged, or he would have heard about Ivara's search, Ichabod having lost his family in Wormwatch.
I will disclose, you would only know that she is looking for a girl named Lily.
Gotcha.
She did not divulge that she is her daughter. She doesn't want her daughter to be put in danger.
I would say, regardless of that, Ivara being one of the people that he fought alongside with being within this circle definitely would have given Ichabod a more personal investment into this particular task compared to some others.
And Ivara would definitely, especially knowing Ichabod and seeing how, like, despite the short amount of time that they knew each other before this kind of fight, she's seen the kind of dedication that Ichabod and the kind of loyalty that Ichabod holds, as well as his character. She would definitely trust Ichabod, and especially like with this particular personal kind of search, she would probably initiate Ichabod to do so, because he would probably be one of the few people she trusts.
In this time of your correspondence, at one point, Ivara, you as a witch, something that is rare and almost an anomaly in the arcane world. There are sorcerers, there are paladins, there are druids, there are wizards, mages of known types. But a chaos magic witch, now there is a unique thing. There is something that can attract people who may be from further away than you know. When through your letters and correspondence, and even going so far as understanding the history of your own grimoire, you see, through deciphering, a repeated group come up. The Hourglass Coven. The Hourglass Coven, as far as you can decipher, are not even close to being on this plane. But somehow, your family seems to be tied to it. And a greater mystery for you to be able to figure out one day may be, how is it that your family knows about the Feywild at all? Again, a question to be answered perhaps another time. Silence. Not too long after, maybe a week or so after Wormwatch's recovery, or the beginnings of, you get a letter. To the esteemed artificer, Silas Hayden. We invite you to be a adjunct at the Arcanics research facility of Arcanics University, the esteemed higher education of magical research, for your specific work into decoding and kyber manipulation. You see the salary, and while I will not disclose, it certainly would have paid that debt a long time ago, twice over. That letter has now been sitting on your desk several months later. What is Silas thinking at this point? And where is he in terms of his relationship to the town?
So immediately following the Battle of Wormwatch, Silas, ever the busybody, went right to work. He's skilled in carpentry, and his best friend and bunny in crime owns a lumber yard. He helped put the town back together and personally redesigned the church. I'd imagine that it was around that time that the letter showed up, and after pondering over it for a few months, as it were, one night over his last cup of coffee, Silas, reading over that letter yet again, sitting in a chair, thinks about how this letter would have come to his being as he took his abilities in carpentry and jewel craft and artifice and built a wand. And how now he wants to use all of those skills to build a new life. And as he touches the wand to the center of that page, igniting it and letting it burn, Silas remains in Wormwatch at least until one night when he is awoken with a small start. As he says, "Are you okay?"
Mira stares beside him, and you can tell she's been awake, laying there for a while now. But it was at that point where she had lowered her guard, and sort of that feeling of conflict and confusion was radiating off her, especially in such close proximity. And she tells you, "I had a dream of a new path to follow. If I go, would you travel with me?"
Laying next to you, Mira, his hand moves to hers, and his fingers play with the gold band inlaid with a Siberius dragon shard. I'd say it's time for a little vacation. Where are we going?
I think the question would be, where's the first stop? There's still something casts a shadow over you when you sleep. You think I don't notice. You say it's fine over your morning coffee, but what is it?
If I may, Silas, you look to the side on the end table and you see a pamphlet, one that you've been holding onto curiously, for a Starjammer cruise. Excuse me, a Spelljammer cruise. See the astral plane.
This is not where I was going, but I do like that. And this is how I'll weave that in. Looking over at that pamphlet, looking back to Mira. Does that mean we're going to have to put our honeymoon on pause?
We've waited this long. We can wait a little longer.
And turning back to her question, knowing that he can't hide anything from her. Every day I am reminded that just because I haven't seen them, House Cannith is probably still looking for me. And I'm not going to let them put the things that I love in danger.
If they're still looking for you, might there be a way to blind them? Eminently or otherwise, whatever may be your inclination, you know I support you always in your rights and your wrongs, so I will tell you all.
What do you mean wrongs? When have I been wrong?
Wow. And then you just get this
Don't answer that.
flashback in your head of like memories.
And we pull
Hey,
back
hey,
from there. And we return to, arguably, where it may have all began. Delilah. Or are you being known as someone else at this point?
Oh boy. Where we find Delilah is in the forest not far from town, where her little ramshackled cabin is that's overgrown with moss and ivy. And we pan in through an open window to the last time we had a look in here. It was a mess. There was things thrown around. There was clues and information scattered about. There was this massive section of the wall that had pictures and newspaper clippings, pins, and thread blocking it. Essentially just a murder wall, if you will, but of all different cases and things that she has investigated before or that she has looked into for one reason or another. But a lot of it is cleaned up. Things are in stacks. The wall is empty, aside from one segment that we see a hand-drawn portrait of 3 people. The youngest in the picture looks to be a younger version of Delilah, and what you could assume are her parents, and a couple of newspaper things from nigh on 95 years ago that she's just kind of staring at with her arms folded. And in a segment of one of the newspaper clippings, it has the names of each of these individuals. And Delilah's name is not Delilah. Delilah's birth name was, whether she knew or not at the time, when she chose to be referred to as Adeline Johnson, that was her birth name. But through her history and remembering everything that's happened to her after the events that have happened recently and the battle at Wormwatch, Delilah spent a lot of time in this cabin trying to make sense of everything. trying to make sense of 90 years of information that she just forgot. How she came to know the Madam of Death. How she first died. Her time at war and the companionship and camaraderie she built with Ellen and with Copper Brass. And everything that happened when she died the second time. And years of information and memories and knowledge and people that she doesn't quite know how to process all of it, on top of being alive, truly alive for the first time in who knows how long. I don't think she's outwardly told anybody to refer to her as anything different, but this is no longer Delilah Armstrong. This is Adeline Johnson. The curious and witty and smart, detailed woman who wanted to make it in a world she was told was for men. With a spark of life in her that nobody around has seen in a very long time. I think she would probably have a conversation or two with Brass during this time.
You come from one of those conversations, which almost at this point are like therapy. Or at least a catharsis. A means of allowing things to come out that were suppressed before. Things that you're coming to terms with, even things that he can relate to, because he's been through war, he's seen it firsthand, and he worked with you and his once protege, former Sheriff in Ellen. And these conversations run deep, and sometimes they're not even all that long. Sometimes it's just a matter of sharing camaraderie. But each time you end up going back to your cabin. And on one particular night, one that you find yourself being restless, maybe even having a few more drinks than you usually do. There's a storm outside. The rain hitting against the windows quite loudly. Thunder slowly rumbling and rolling through. It's a feeling that you're not unfamiliar with. But in that time, you do hear a voice. And you hear this voice speak to you as you start to remember this voice. It doesn't sound unlike your own. It may be a little bit more shorter, and their hair in dreads. In garb that is much more akin to what maybe a more ragged version of what Evan wore. And she looks at you as you look back in the face of Bellatrix. One that shares your living, youthful face. Albeit one that has seen much more evil in the world. And she looks at you and she says, "Was it worth it?"
I don't know.
You've been so many people. And you're only finding out more and more. I tried to save you in the mountain before they could take you. And that witch's power is something else to have made me show up. But you pulled through. And you ended up being right back where you started.
I'm sorry that you didn't. Because of me.
In a way, I'm just one fragment of that broken mirror. And eventually you'll see all the reflections. But
I don't know
think
if I want to.
Well, I think the one that you have now suits you best. I'll be gone after tonight. You'll never see me again. I don't think you need to know what we did. Because that's not you anymore.
It'll always be part of me. That won't go away. Whether I want it to or not. Every aspect that was me at some point in time. Everything that I've done. That'll always be a part of me. For better, for worse.
Just keep riding. And that voice, that message echoes and reverberates along with the thunder and echoing with the lightning crash as the rain falls and you drift off into an eventual sleep. A deep sleep that you have finally gotten accustomed to after not knowing what real rest was for so long.
Well, Delilah didn't use sleep at all, so...
But there's one thing out of all of it that you haven't had in a long time. Hope. Hope for something a little bit better than the day before. And that hope came in the form of several people. Several strangers who eventually became allies, who became something more. A cornerstone, a small mining town. One that almost sought out its own destruction, were it not to be strengthened at the core of its foundations. The town of Wormwatch will be a distant memory to some. A place that people just pass through on their way to another part of Kabar. A stop to rest. A time to reflect. For several of you, and for some even more, Wormwatch is something you are bound to, and will forever be tied with. Wormwatch is something you watch over. And these frontiers will always be set in stone with the names of legends. And that is where we shall end our campaign. Ladies and gentlemen, friends beyond the binary, thank you so much for watching our Weird West series, one that I have always wanted to do, and I'm so thankful to have brought to life with so many amazing people. Even those who couldn't be here today, from our very humble beginnings when this was just a one shot that I did in our Discord just for the hell of it. And then we brought it to this epic story of a small town with big time heroes. Uh, so you may be asking yourself, well, what's next? Well, perhaps another time we may revisit these heroes and we might see an adventure or two that comes up. We'll see. I am excited to announce, though, that my next game that I am going to be running is a game. We are going to be using the Call of Cthulhu system. First time it's ever been done on this channel. More specifically, the Pulp Cthulhu system for something that I am incredibly nerdy about, and I'm so excited. Is called the Society of Explorers and Adventurers. It is a 1930s adventure series that takes place within a world where the lore of very specific but worldwide crossing Disney theme parks are going to be brought to life with a lot of fun Easter eggs, all of which we will not make a dime for because we do not want to be sued. And when that will be, we will figure out. We all have to still do some character creation. We're figuring out schedules and stuff, and eventually we'll do a session 0. But what else is to come in the world of 2B Dice? Well, I will leave that to our own Mathicus to speak on.
Hi. We can get back to our regularly scheduled programs. Tuesday evening, The Edge of the Empire, using the Fantasy Flight system. Going right back into all of that goodness. Now featuring some new players. Humphrey Wickham being one of them. Super excited. On to this Wednesday, continuing the Dimensional Dial One-Shot Wednesdays. This week, DM'd by son of a ghost himself, Oz, taking us back to the dimension of Ebenfell. And after that, right back into Thursday for Tales of Varden. As the Pale Lady has just set forth on her first voyage. Yes.
Very cool. And if you want to keep up on all the updates, please follow us everywhere at 2B Diced ADV. Of course, you can follow us all along our channels and our names here that we've got. Please show these people some love. They are some of the best players that I have ever worked with. I am so thankful for this. Thank you all for watching. Thank you to everybody who has been helping out with us. To those heroes that have come and gone, we will always remember you. And we will see you at the next sunrise as this show meets its sunset. Thank you, everybody, for following us with Frontiers of Eberron. We will see you next time when it is time to be diced.
Bye.